Hi, I'm Paige Pradko. Welcome to Therapy for a Better Life. Today I'm answering questions from my viewers and subscribers. And today's subject is on sleep, sleep anxiety, insomnia. And I think that most of us can pick up a few pointers from these questions and answers. The first one comes from Sandra. Hi Paige, thank you for your videos. Let me explain my situation a little bit. I had fallen into a bad depression, and I just recently managed to get to a good frame of mind yesterday. Now, since I reached that positive state, I started to worry about not being able to sleep, even though my brain has been feeling good. I kept telling myself, I hope I'm able to sleep. And when time came around, I found myself starting to get fearful of having to go to bed for fear of not being able to sleep. So when I first climbed into bed, I could feel myself trying to fall asleep more than a handful of times, and my body just wouldn't let me sleep. It's like I kept myself awake. And then the racing thoughts came, and I haven't slept at all. Now, the reason I chose this question is because so many of us can relate. This is a great example of sleep anxiety. I'm sorry this happened to you, Sandra, but I think it's happened to most of us from time to time. So what's happening here is that you started to worry about not getting to sleep. And the moment we start to worry about not getting to sleep, oh boy, I got to get up the next day. If I don't get to sleep, I'm going to have a bad day tomorrow. I'm going to be tired, on and on and on. That anxiety actually activates the fear center in our brain. It activates the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight, and how our brain interprets it is, oh, she's anxious. And she is so anxious, there must be a tiger that's going to come and get her tonight. So my job is to keep her awake all night long. And the moment we give our brain these fearful worries about not getting to sleep, our brain interprets that we must be in danger. We're so anxious, our brain's going to keep us awake the whole night to protect us. It's a survival mechanism. It just doesn't help us very much. So what I recommend is that you try to give yourself the most calming messages, like you could care less whether or not you sleep. I know that sounds really crazy, but it works. I call it, oh well. We say, oh well, okay, well, whether I sleep or not, maybe I'll be tired tomorrow. Oh well, my body will catch up eventually. Whether anxiety comes or goes tonight, oh well, can't do anything about that. And you just really want to downplay it, because any little bit of worry, your brain is going to start to take off on that anxiety. And we don't want that to happen. So that was really, really a great question. Another question from Bay. These tips are useful and new to me. Thanks for sharing, and thank you for your work. I tend to get angry because I can't fall asleep. I think we can relate to that too. Is there a way to train myself to become less angry and let things go? I'm guessing just continual practice of meditation might help. What do you think? Thanks, I subscribed. Again, a lot of people, I think, can relate to that. When we're laying in bed and we can't get to sleep, we get frustrated, we get angry sometimes. So we want to try to counteract that. Again, frustration and anger, our brain gets wired up, and our brain believes, oh my gosh, he's going to have to, again, fight a tiger. And so let's keep this person up all night long to defend himself. And that's just going to make us more irritable and more frustrated, right? Again, take that approach of, oh well, I guess I'll I'll fall asleep when my body's ready to fall asleep. One thing I do is I will do some long diaphragmatic breathing, the square breathing. I have a video on that if you would like to review that. But I do the long exhales. I don't really count. I just do breathing from the belly and long exhales as I'm trying to get to sleep on a night that's more difficult. Just trying to relax my body. And I'll use what's called the open palm technique. And I'll keep my palms raised and my palms open because this activates the parasympathetic nervous system. And your brain knows that you're not ready to fight off somebody if your palms are open. So that's a great technique. Anytime you're irritated or angry, you turn your palms both open and upwards like this. Really helps to calm down and relax you. So one more question. Bay had a follow-up question. Paige Pradko, do you have any tips for highly analytical minds? I tend to analyze everything, even when I'm drifting. So this is another thing that most of us can relate to. I love to solve world problems like 2 or 3 in the morning. I will pop awake and my brain will be spinning, right? Usually about something ridiculous. And so you've heard this before. A lot of people will say, put a pencil and paper by your bed and write down whatever it is that your brain is interested in solving. The main thing your brain wants to know is that you are going to work on it. And so sometimes just writing down a word, your brain knows, okay, she's going to work on it. And again, if you're up because of this rumination, get out of bed, go get a drink of water, use the restroom. If your brain is really hyperactive, sit in a chair in a different room and let yourself just kind of get this out of your system a little bit before you go back to bed so that you don't associate ruminating with your bedroom. Now, there is a lot of evidence that we can stop rumination. That rumination is analytical thinking, like trying to solve a math problem, and we can tell our brain to just stop. But if you're like me, I wake up in the middle of the night doing it. But I have tried telling my brain to stop, and my brain cooperates, so experiment with that a little bit. And the next thing I want to suggest is having a worry time. This really works. Just telling yourself, okay, at 5:30 in the evening, I am going to sit and ruminate really hard about whatever it is I'm going to ruminate and worry about. I'm going to worry really hard. I can't talk about it. And this works. Your brain knows that you have a particular time of day to worry. And so in the middle of the night, you can just tell yourself, hey, I'm going to worry about that tomorrow at 5:30. So you can experiment with this, but it does work. So I want to thank you again for your questions. If you have a question or comment that you'd like to leave, please do so. You never know, you might be the one picked. And again, thank you for subscribing. Until next time, I will see you in session. Take care. Bye-bye.